live. Second day in a row. Stranger things have happened. Oh, man. So we'll see who all joins in this afternoon. A little bit earlier of a time than yesterday. So, don't know how many folks are going to be able to join us. I would imagine a lot of folks probably still at work. There he is. What's going on, Reloading Quest? You didn't miss much last night, so. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Yep. What's going on, 18 Wheels? That's what I just said. As soon as I started the live, before anyone jumped in, I said, "Look at me doing a live 2 days in a row." This is probably the last one for a month. I don't know. We'll see. I did take off work today and go to the range though. So I spent, let's see, got to the range about 8:30 this morning. Left at probably 1:45. So not too bad. Almost 6 hours at the range, which I was really pushing. And part of the reason why I even took off work was because the lows today, tomorrow, and Thursday are in the 30s. The highs are in the mid 60s. So I was wanting to take off work and go to the range and test a bunch of hand loads because the temperatures were going to be more in line with, what gun season is going to look like. Now, of course, it heated up as the day went on. So, but to start the day, first thing this morning, when I was shooting, it was pretty chilly. So it's good to test in those conditions, which is basically why I test even through deer season all winter. I'm still testing. So it's about what the weather is up here in Mass. Yeah, so it is unseasonably cold, we'll say. It's typically it's not in the mid 60s with lows in the 30s, because today's actually opening day of bow season. It's opening day of bow season for white-tailed deer, and generally speaking, it's not the temperature is not what it is. So normally it's much warmer, at least in the 80s. But it was really nice. So got out to the range, spent about 6 hours, shot a bunch of stuff, really good results. lot of good velocity information. So pretty pumped about that. Test a lot in the winter as well. Guns and ammo start to do funny stuff when temps get below zero. Yeah, exactly. So I try to, and that's part of the reason why I continue to test through the winter. I don't put a ton of stock in the testing that I do. Once it warms up and you're talking late spring, especially when I roll around into summertime, I don't put a ton of stock into like velocity and that type of stuff, because it's going to change. It's going to change with the powders that I'm using. Once hunting season rolls around and you're out there and it's 20 degrees, in the teens. Last year we got down below zero. Or it was last year or 2 years ago. Can't remember. Either way. But when you get down to those temperatures, powder does some funny stuff. So what bullets did I test? So I tested in 30-06. I tested the 180 grain CX. Now this is for a different project altogether, not my Savage 110 Trail Hunter project. This is for my buddy that I work with. It's his Ruger M77 that I actually worked up a load for him way back when, and he killed an elk with it. That was with the 168 grain tip TSX from Barnes, and using Ramshot big game powder. I was running that at like 2850. He had 14 rounds left from what I had originally loaded up for him, and so I shot those today. I forgot just how much I had to stomp on that load to get to 2850 with Ramshot big game in that bullet. So the primers are extremely flat. I'm talking about, it's up there. Had a hard bolt lift. I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go a different route this time. And so what I tried out today was the 180 grain CX with Superformance, and I made it up to 2787. 2787, and the primers, I was nowhere near the pressure that I was with that 168 grain Barnes load with Ramshot big game. So I think that's going to be the route that I go. I was just under the max charge listed in the Hornady manual, and I was about, let's say I was 37 feet per second over what they show. In the Hornady manual, they show the 180 grain CX going up to 2750 with a max charge of Superformance, and I was 0.3 under, and I was 37 feet per second over. So I'm going to push it just a little bit above what I tested today. Not much, but just a little bit above. I'd really like to hit that 2,800 feet per second mark and hit it consistently. If I do that, that's a pretty dynamite load in 30-06. 180 grain solid copper option, going 2,800 feet per second. That's really good stuff. So no, I will not try Shooter's World match rifle with 30-06. I mean, well, I say no. I need to go look at the load data. If the load data is there and supports, decent enough velocities for me to test, then sure, why not? El Chupa Goats, what's going on? In the deep South Texas, you get 3 days of winter. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in Alabama, it's kind of, I don't know. You definitely do have all 4 seasons, but it's a weird 4 seasons, right? Your fall might be a week. It could be a week long, and then all of a sudden, you go from summer right into fall, and it feels great for literally a week, and then boom, like today. Now your high is 60 and your lows are in the 30s, and then it's just going to continue to drop from there. So it'll probably warm back up a little bit, but could be some weird weather here. Anton, I'm assuming that's how you say your name. Which bullets are used more in the USA for 6.5 Creedmoor, Berger or Hornady? Oh, I don't know. I mean, flip a coin and you can't really go wrong with either one of those, I guess, in the Creedmoor, depending on which bullet you go with. But I think here in the US, you would have, if you took a poll, I would say you might have more people say Hornady, just from the standpoint of cost-wise. Berger bullets, they're really good, but they're not cheap. So 18 wheels, he was talking to El Chupa Goats. You guys have the opposite problem down there. Powder still do funny things at the temp of the, yeah, exactly. What's going on accuracy first? Reloading Weatherby has a 30-06 versus 7 rim mag in just under 3 hours. Looks like 200 grain terminal is sent in the 30-06 load. Dang, nice. Have not tried, no reloading quest. I have not tried 6.5 stay ball in the alt-6 just yet. Accuracy first. I need to get to my wife's, I need to get back to my wife's Tikka 6.5 Creedmoor. It's shooting factory ammo really well though. Yeah, I mean, if it's shooting the factory stuff good, just keep running with that. More 6.5 Creedmoor testing with the 130 AccuBond. Come on up here for coyotes and bobcat mid-January last year. It was -10. My AR froze and firing pin would strike hard enough to crush primer. Dang. It's pretty speedy in the alt-6. Oh, okay, well that's good to know. I mean, it's so, and the reason I'm pushing for velocity in this particular setup is because my buddy's using this sort of as a do everything hunting rifle. He does plan on going elk hunting, definitely not going this year, but next year I think next year or 2 years from now, he's planning on going elk hunting again out west. And this will more than likely be the rifle that he takes again, because this is what he took the first time when he killed his bull. And so he's probably going to take this again. So the purpose is to hammer out a hunting load that he can use, here shooting some monster whitetails, which he kills every year, or take it out west, go kill a really big elk. And I think that 180 grain CX bullet is going to get the job done. So, especially if we can get it at 2,800 feet per second. So, accuracy first. Been really surprised with S&B Blue 120 and her Tikka. That's their version of the Tip TSX. Oh, nice. Yeah, it's I don't know. I need to see. Well, what was really nice was I wanted to test the 180 grain Nosler AccuBond next to the 180 grain CX. 'Cause those are kind of the two bullets that I have on hand. I have the 175 LRX as well that I could try. In this, it's a Ruger M77, but I wanted to go with the 180 AccuBond against the 180 CX just to see how they shot. And I loaded up exact same charge weights of Superformance in each one. And I shot all of the CX first. And they shot pretty good. Definitely shot good enough. And then I'm only 2 groups in on the AccuBonds, and they're shooting very similar as the CX. Similar points of impact, so that's really nice. Yeah, so what I might end up doing is, I've got 50 pieces of Starline brass that I'm using, and so I might just go 25 and 25 with the CX and with the AccuBond, and then he can just pick and choose. He can just, especially if we find at that top end charge the AccuBond does as well as the CX, then might just load up both and say, hey, here you go. You can pick whichever one you want to whenever you're going hunting and go from there. So that might be the plan. Because the velocities are pretty similar, at least so far through the first 2 groups. Just kind of comparing the two. Velocity's pretty similar. I'm not putting a bunch of stock in the SD numbers because it's only 3-shot groups. So that tells me everything I need to know right off the bat, whether or not it's a combination worth pursuing. Oh, and I did reloading quest. You'll really enjoy this. I started the barrel break-in process on 22 Creedmoor. So, yeah, started that as well. Let's see, started that. I started a 7 rim mag project. Got everything bore sided on paper, good to go. Yeah, really interested in that 7 rim mag because it's a Savage 110 series, or Savage 110D Series H, that was made sometime between 1968 and 1972. So you're talking, what, 50, whatever, 52 to 56-year-old gun, something like that. And I've put a Weaver V8 scope on it. It's a 2.5 to 8 power scope that was made roughly around the same time frame, sometime in the 60s. And so ran some hand loads through there today, and I was pretty pumped with the initial performance. So pretty excited about that one. Accuracy first. Anyone have bad experiences generally with ball powders in hunting situations such as Ramshot, Magnum, or Grand? So my buddy, like I was talking about earlier, that original hunting load that I worked up, it was the 168 grain tip TSX with Ramshot Big Game, which is a ball powder, and he's killed a pile of deer with it and then killed that elk out west. And he sent me the picture, and there was snow on the ground. And so he would probably tell you he never noticed a difference. So can't say that I have. Right on, excited for that. Yeah, me too. It was I got the first 10 rounds down the barrel, and because I'm following the E. Arthur Brown company barrel break-in process, since it's their barrel. And so just walking through that, and they recommend doing a 25 shot string to start and clean in between each shot. So that just takes a lot of time, right? So I was out at the range today, and just, it took a long time. Like I said, I was there for almost 6 hours, I think. But, I had so much stuff to shoot that I didn't start the barrel break-in process right away. And so I ended up, toward the tail end, I only got 10 rounds fired. So we'll see. Got to get that broken in. You see the results with long range shooting when it comes to ball versus stick powder for stability. Yeah, that's I would imagine. I mean, that's where your SDs are coming into play, right? I mean, you're going to see vertical dispersion. It's going to show up downrange and way downrange. You might not notice it or even see it at, again, traditional, in air quotes, hunting distances. So, that might not be something that you would even see on the target. But definitely stretching it out, you're probably gonna notice that difference. Some of the SDs I was getting with Superformance, they weren't too bad, but again, I'm not really putting stock in those. Again, 3-shot groups, so the sample sizes are not that great, but down in the single digits. So, pretty good stuff. Like that last group that I tested, where the velocity was 2787, the SD was 8.6. And out of the 5 groups that I tested in the 180 grain CX, 3 of them were single digits. and then one was 10.8 and the other one was 14.1. So it's not that bad. But again, you go and load up and shoot more, a larger data set, then SD could definitely get worse. Okay, reloading quest. Yeah, really, it's 700 yards and beyond when you're hitting steel and paper targets when you notice it. So like you're saying, traditionally, hunting distance is really not going to see it. Accuracy first. I want to try to Grand. I've got experience with many ball powders, had excellent results over the years. Yeah, I don't know if you heard me make that comment last night, but Midway USA had that powder on sale, down for like, I think it was like $27 a pound or something. It might have been last week or a couple of weeks ago. So it was the 1 pound. The 1 pound containers were on sale, marked down quite a bit. The 8 pound was not, but pretty sure it wouldn't. But the 1 pound was. All right, so there you go. Accuracy first. You need to go get some. Reloading Quest says Ramshot Grand has been awesome for stability, for temperature. He's done testing in his 7 PRC from 28 degrees up to 100, and it's been amazing. Yeah, exactly. Well, you go get some and you let me know what you think about it. And then I might have to get some. We'll see. But remember, as with everything in life, your mileage may vary. Yeah, I was. Oh, and I went and shot. I had that fourth group, or the last group with the 175 grain Barnes LRX bullet and Superformance for the Savage 110 Trail Hunter, and that little how to prep your rifle for hunting season series that I'm doing. I had that one group left that I needed to shot, and of course, I think it was the best group. It was the best group I shot out of all of the 175 LRX groups. Just when I said, hey, probably not going to pursue that anymore. I'm just going to focus on the 180 CX and the 168 Meguiar Ballistics. I kind of wrote off the Barnes and Superformance, just that combination in that 110 Trail Hunter. And then I go out and it was the best group. It was the best group out of the 4. So, go figure. Reloading Quest said the availability of the powder is really good too. Well, that's good. Yeah, that's frustrating when, there's a powder that's really awesome and gives good, temp stability, good performance. People are having good luck with it, and then you just can't find it. You can't find it. You can't get it. That's never fun. Yes, I'm pretty sure I did get the text. I know your text came through. Now, whether or not I looked at it and absorbed it because I was on here talking to you guys last night, and then the moment I got off, went home and didn't look at my phone again, so I'm going to say no. I have the text. I need to go back and look at it. Okay, you're going to test Ramshot Hunter and the Barnes 80 grain in 243. Let me know how that goes for you. Be interested to hear that. I think I've got a pound of the Ramshot Hunter, 1 or 2 pounds of Ramshot Hunter and the Ramshot Big Game. Well, yeah, if you watched, I'm sure you did, but if you watched the this last video put out by Little Crow Gunworks, Tim over there, he's the one doing the video. He was talking about, you'll see a difference at 1,000th. in terms of seating depth changes. If you change 1,000th, you should see a change on target, or you could definitely see a change on target. So I thought that was interesting. Accuracy first. I've got Hunter, Magnum, LRT. Need to get some big game and Grant. Well, big game is, at least in my experience, has been a really good 30-06 powder. So if that's something you're looking to load for, that's been a really good option. Reloading Quest 300 rum. Ugh, my shoulder hurts just thinking about it. That was the other thing. So I put probably, let's see, I'm trying to think. I shot probably 50 rounds, 50 or so rounds, maybe more than that, of 30-06 today. And I'm talking about some not mild loads either. I mean, we're talking, we're on the upper end of the charge weight range of the load data. 50 plus rounds of that, and then I shot another, I don't know, maybe 30. No, maybe more than that. Maybe close to 40 rounds of 7 rim mag. Oh, my shoulder's about to fall off. It was not a, it was a great day at the range, but part of it was not fun. So it was really nice shooting that 22 Creedmoor toward the tail end of my range session. Chris said, I was looking for big game for 708, but you've got CFE 223 and it's about the same. Oh yeah, I'm assuming 1/2-inch groups. Hard to argue with. 18 wheels. That dude gets deep with his videos. He definitely put the time in. Yes, that's so. Yeah, and if you're not watching the Little Crow Gunworks, if you're not subscribed to that channel, you're seriously missing out. He's putting out some of the best information current on YouTube. He's putting out some of the best information that's geared towards people that are actually going to go out and hunt with, cartridges like 7 PRC, 280 Ackley, 7 rim mag, that 28 Nosler. That's what his it's a 7mm Showdown series that he's doing, and he is really, like you say, he's putting in time, effort. His videos are in depth. It's a really good series. Hunt Simple is back too. I know, I'm so pumped. He's the one that got me into 270 Winchester. I only got a 270 Winchester because of his series, his Project 270 series. That's the only reason I got one. So I'm really glad he's back. Accuracy first. Going to see what price Grand is online now. Yeah, check Midway. I'm sure it's back up. They probably doubled it. Who knows? But it was on sale. I want to say as late as last week. It was on sale. Yeah, so Reloading Quest is going to do a live stream later on tonight, so you guys join in on that as well. And Accuracy first, he said y'all could chat about Grand if you wanted to over there on that live stream. He'll be more than happy to share all of the super secret information that he has about it. You own a 708 Tikka because of him. Yeah, I know. And so I was thinking about that earlier today. YouTube, it's a great place for it's such a large reloading community, or people who create sort of reloading content on YouTube, and that's awesome. But I find myself kind of following along with channels where you almost get invested in the individual themselves, right? Like there's channels that I watch and subscribe to that they're purely product review channels, right? They show you the latest and greatest products and how they work and all that fun stuff, which is nice. And we need that type of stuff. We need that type of information. But I prefer like CW Longshot. I'm Reloading Quest. All these guys, Outdoor Generalist. That's another one. Hunt Simple. Reloading Weatherby's a good one. A lot of these channels, you almost find yourself being more invested in how that, the person themselves versus, hey, are they putting out the most polished content with the latest and greatest thing that just hit, SHOT Show or whatever. Like I'm kind of getting more to where I don't really care about that. Right? It's good to know. It's good to see product reviews and that type of stuff, but yeah, I'm more into those channels, those types of channels. Midway 35 a pound clearance. That's not bad. If you can buy enough to again justify the paying the hazmat and the shipping. What's going on, Harvey? Reloading Quest. That's why I'm excited to get my get your website up and running so we can get people on the forum to talk about hand loading stuff. Yeah, no, and your website's really awesome, by the way. I sent the link to the developer that I'm working with on slowly getting a website established. I actually sent him yours because I think yours, I like the way it's laid out. I like the sort of how navigation and stuff works. It works really well with the phone. That was the main thing. And that's kind of what I communicated to him was like, whatever I end up with, it has to be seamless. Like the functionality has to be seamless on a mobile device. Otherwise, I'm not even going to fool with it. So, Harvey said Grand can be used for what calibers? 18 wheels. That's why we watch you, buddy. Don't leave yourself out of the group. Yeah, I appreciate it. I think so. What's funny is, and it trust me, it puts a smile on my face too, and it makes my wife laugh. She's beside herself that we're even having these conversations as we speak, and it cracks me up. So, but yeah, no, I really appreciate everybody that tunes in. I appreciate every positive comment, every negative comment, every thumbs up, thumbs down, you name it, any interaction whatsoever. Trust me, it is much appreciated. Even the comments about cleaning off my reloading bench, which, by the way, there's been some progress made in that area. So next time I show it, I think you guys will appreciate it. Chris said YouTube is taking over online communities. I used to do a lot of gun forums. Yeah, I don't know. I've never been big on the forums. It's just never been something, I don't know. It's never been something that I got into. I am looking forward to, I did sign up, Reloading Quest. I did sign up for I think you had like a few different options or something on there whenever you sent me the link. And so I went ahead and signed up. So I've been getting the notifications about the stuff you're posting. So that's good stuff as well. Wish Hunt Simple would bring back Simple Christian. See, I didn't know he had that channel until he mentioned it the other day. He's got what is it? Kingdom. What's it called? He's got his other channel that he just started as well, Kingdom Now or something like that. So if you're not subscribed to that, also go subscribe to that one as well. He's going through scripture and stuff, and so it's a great channel. Ben, what's going on, Ben? It's just sad YouTube is so anti-gun. Lots of good info that we can learn. Yeah, and I understand. I get it to a point, right? Where if you've got like people making modifications, different things, whatever, right? I get it. But the stuff I'm showing you, you can literally go buy a reloading manual. There's digital versions you can just go look at. I'm not showing you anything that's not already just out in the open that you can easily go access. It's interesting that, kind of what they pick and choose to get fired up about. What's going on, Charles? Yeah, Reloading Quest comment section is the best. It always is. What's going on, Wayne? Getting ready to try Superformance with my 270. Was wondering if you'd try with regular cup and core bullets. I don't think I have, actually. I'm trying to, man, you're asking me to dig into the memory bank, and that's dangerous. I don't. I'd have to go back and look. If I did, I didn't test much with it. I've done way more testing with the Barnes and solid copper stuff in Superformance than I have just cup and core stuff. Accuracy first. I was on Hodgdon reloading site last night. Saw Grand showing great velocities. I think in 6.5 PRC. You already forgot what all cartridges you were looking up and saw it listed. Reloading Quest. It's like people think we take what they say personally. Yeah, I know. 18 wheels. You won't ever hear anything about a dirty bench from me. I have no room to talk. I had to clear spot just to make that little video that I made. Yeah, exactly. That's, yeah. Well, mine's definitely not clean. I did kind of throw some of the garbage away. I did that at least. So there's less garbage on my bench now. And that was a huge upgrade. Like, that was a huge improvement. After I did that, I kind of took a step back and I was like, wow. I just had a lot of trash sitting on my bench. A lot of like empty bullet boxes and, you know, bags from brass, different things like that. Accuracy first. Asked you a question, Wayne. Reloading fun. All right, thumbs down from now on then. That's funny. What's going on, Vanessa? Yeah, I mean, you know, hey, all interaction and engagement, I guess, is beneficial to the channel. That's how the algorithm works, I think. The algorithm is kind of like the cloud, right? No idea how any of that works. So, accuracy first at 8 Charles. Charles said, hey, back. Ramshot offer any temp stable? Are you asking if they offer any temp stable powders, maybe? Charles, accuracy first. Do you have a YouTube channel? Your name is familiar. Uh, 18 wheels. My buddy's here to work on furnace. Oh, okay. Yep. Have a good one. Appreciate you joining in. Good luck. Hopefully hopefully it's a quick fix. Cheap quick fix, we'll say. Chris, dirty bench as well, no judgment. Accuracy first. Do not have a channel per se, but years ago did upload some videos of bear and deer hunts. Nice. 67 Rebel, what's happening? Accuracy first. I try to comment to a frequency that is YouTube friendly so as to drive the channels. Yeah, no, I would say you accomplished that mission, my friend, and I really appreciate it. That's the other thing too, is the amount of information that you can learn, not necessarily just from the video that's put out, but down in the comment section, right? Guys like Accuracy First, like CW Reloading Quest, all these guys, El Chupa Goats, all these guys that are, you know, active. It's, to your point, you know, YouTube it's basically just a forum in itself, right? It's just visually. So it's pretty cool. Chris, yes, sorry. Are any Ramshot powders temp stable? Ah, got you. Ramshot Grand. Okay, Reloading Quest. Ramshot Grand is temp stable and it's a ball powder. Yeah, I know in the past I've actually looked up, like, Ramshot and Accurate powders are not necessarily known for temp stability, right? You're not talking to the level of Varget and that type of stuff. Now with Ramshot Grand, I think that was kind of their goal, was to bring it more in line with better temp stability. but the rest of them I'm not sure about. Any of the other powders. I know back when I was heavily working on some Accurate 2520 stuff in 308, looking at that, they showed, I can't remember the tolerance that they allow on the temperature variation on what is acceptable to them. I know there's, I can't remember what it is, like plus minus 5% difference. I can't remember. It was actually listed on the Accurate website, I believe, where they actually talked about that depending on your temperatures when you go and shoot, like in the summertime, and then you go and shoot when it's 10 degrees outside, if you go from 100 down to 10 degrees, you should expect to see some level of variability, and that it was normal to see plus minus certain percentage of variance there. So accuracy first. My bench is not dirty but cluttered frequently. Yeah, that's me too. Like cleaned it off a little bit. The moment I go right back in there to sort of start brass prep and everything from what I shot today, it'll go right back to being a mess. Chris, my English teacher wife isn't here to check grammar. That's funny. Misspelled here. You went with the here like here and then here like here. What's the best deer rifle? Whichever one you shoot well enough to go kill deer. That's the best one. Reloading fun. What is Ramshot Grand used in usually? That's a great question. I know it's a newer powder, but not sure. Accuracy first. Here's my thoughts. Experiences with temp unstable powders makes no difference inside 600 yards to any degree. Your small game animal will know. Ask the 90 plus coyotes I've dispatched in the last few years. Accuracy first. Reloader 22 for years carried the torch for being very temp sensitive. It's among my favorites and never had an issue. 65 degrees here and downing pronghorn or muleys when cold. So I was actually shooting Reloader 22 today, testing it in 7 rim mag, testing Reloader 22 and the 162 grain Hornady interlock and the 175 grain Hornady interlock. Let me see, did I write that stuff down? I might not have wrote that down. No, I didn't. I didn't write that stuff down. But the SDs, I mean, again, only 3-shot groups, but the SDs were insanely good with Reloader 22. Reloading Quest, I've used Ramshot Grand so far in 7 PRC, 6.5 PRC, 30-06, 270 Winchester, 35 Whelen, and 30 belted Newton. Accuracy first. Very good intel, Reloading Quest, thanks. Accuracy first, I have 8 pounds on the way. Nice. Do you have any idea if Reloading Fun says, do you have any idea if Grand is in the same class as H4350 or Retumbo? Reloading Quest says he's been very impressed so far, which is good. That's good to hear. Again, it's always good when a new powder comes out, people have success with it, and you can actually go buy it. That's always nice. And it is supposed to be on the slower side of the burn rate, correct? That's what it's looking like. If you're using it in those cartridges, maybe on somewhat of the slower side. Ooh. Okay, the grand burn rate is right after H1000 Reloading Fun, so that should kind of give you that should give you an idea of the types of cartridges, at least some level of idea about what you could probably use that for. Oh my goodness. It's super cloudy down here now. You've got a pound of it. Nice. I might just have to go get some. Reloading Quest and Accuracy First are a couple of enablers. Reloading Quest keeps talking it up. I have to go get some. But yeah, that 22 Creedmoor I think is going to be a ton of fun. Oh, I wrote down the velocities. I could have told you that. So again, I've only put 10 rounds down the barrel. I'm following the E. Arthur Brown Company barrel break-in process, where you shoot once, clean, shoot once, clean. You do that 25 times. Then you come back and you shoot a 3-shot group and clean, another 3-shot group and clean, and then you finish it off with a 5-shot group and clean. So all in all, their break-in process calls for 36 total shots to be fired. And then basically you're ready to go, right? With, just standard shooting, whatever that looks like for you. So I only made it through the first 10 of shoot once and clean, and then I just ran out of time at the range. So let's see, my velocities, and what I did, I bought a 50 count box of Peterson brass. So I've got brand new Peterson brass, and I loaded all 50 pieces with, it's the small rifle primer version 2. So I'm using the CCI 450 small rifle mag primers. And I loaded all 50 pieces with 45 grains of Superformance. All right. And the reason I went with that is because I think Superformance is like one of the best, if not the best, velocity option for the 62 grain Hornady, was it ELD, VT bullet, whatever it is that they came out with. That's the bullet that I'm shooting. And I picked 45 grains because it was kind of like in the middle of the charge weight range. And I'm at basically 3,600 feet per second so far through the 10 shots. 3589, 3602, 3591, 3612, 3657, 3597, 3591, 3582, 3610, and 3690. So 3690 was the 10th shot. So over 3,600 average. Out of those 10, I'm over 3,600 right now. And that's not even near the top end. So pretty cool. Reloading Fun. I've had it for like 2 years, I think. I'll have to try it in 708 maybe. Yeah, I know. Can't help yourself. Jeff, anyone use Stayball HD? Accuracy First, yes. Stayball HD is pretty good. Reloading Quest, Stayball HD, not. Let's see, Stayball HD got great speed, but I've had problems with accuracy. Okay, good to know. Accuracy First says it produces very good extreme spreads in 7 PRC, but lacked speed. Okay, so lagging behind a little bit in velocity for Accuracy First, but extreme spreads are really good. So Reloading Fun, do you think their break-in process is because they don't lap their barrels? Oh yeah, I think they even say that on the, I don't have the form with me. I printed it off, I got it at home, and I think they just tell you straight up on their break-in. You can go to their website and there's like a PDF kind of explaining why they recommend the break-in process. And I think that's essentially what they say is like, hey, we don't lap our barrels. We let you fire lap them, right, by shooting rounds down them. And following a break-in process. I'm almost positive. I think I read that. So, accuracy first. It's basically what Hornady went to in Factory 7 PRC ammo when they ran out of Reloader 26. Accuracy first. My peak speed in that 25.5-inch Hart barrel 270 Winchester with 130 tip TSX was 33.96 using 59.5 grains of Super Performance. Okay, so this is back to who was it that asked about Super Performance? I think it was Wayne, if I remember right. Whoever it was, whoever it was that was asking about Super Performance and 270 Winchester. There's at least a data point for an expectation. Reloading fun. I take it back. I just checked. I have Ramshot Hunter, not Grand. Okay. I can't find data for Hunter. Do you have any info on it? I think Sean, I think he was saying in 708. I think that's what he said up here. Yeah, he said he's wanting to try it in 708, 7mm 08. So I don't know anything off the top of my head. I haven't used, I think the only time I've ever loaded Ramshot Hunter was in some Creedmoor testing, I believe, if I remember right. I need to test it in 270 Winchester. I think it's supposedly a really good powder for for that cartridge. 270 Winchester, 30-06 maybe. Reloading fun. Shoot me an email. I can help you out. So yeah, so reach out to Reloading Quest. Just go on your website's live, right? Reloading Quest. You can just go to his website and communicate with him that way. Or send him a message on Instagram. So Hunter's in the H4350 range then, maybe. Yeah, it is. Well, I think Reloading Quest is answering the question that I just asked. Apparently this kid got hurt and he's limping off the field. Accuracy first. When do you think you'll take some components to Meredith? Oh, well, everything just got pushed way to the right. Way to the right. Thanks to some so yeah, everything is being pushed way to the right. So it's being pushed so far to the right that I actually put a scope back on my Tikka T3X that's chambered in 270. That's the one that I'm going to get him to rebarrel to 280 Ackley. And everything's being pushed so far to the right now that I put a scope back on it so I can just keep shooting it for the time being. So it's not looking good. Reloading fun at Reloading Quest. Okay, thanks. All right, he's going to reach out to you. It is what it is. It's all good. Like, it's all good. So it's one of those situations where, you know, you have a kiddo leave the nest, so to speak, and they're all married and doing their own thing, right, and living their life, but you know, hey, transmission goes out in their car. Oh, we need help. You know, that type of stuff. So it's all good. Jeff, I'm loading my uncle's 22-250 Ackley with Ramshot Magnum 88 grain ELD M's at 3,000, no pressure. Sweet. Kid's still on payroll. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, to a point, I will give them credit that, you know, for the most part, they don't really. Now they'll be kind of quick to be like, hey, y'all want to go out to eat tonight, and not, you know, not try to pick up the bill for themselves, right? So anytime they hit us up with a, hey, y'all want to go out to dinner tonight, I just know automatically, okay, well, I've got to pay for 2 extra people now. You know, that's how it goes, which is fine. That's not a big deal. It's just, you know, when the issue with the vehicle hit, you know, kind of one of those things where it's like that was a lot all at once, you know. So we're letting them work through it, but it's just kind of that's a difficult one to address when you're starting out, right? Just trying to get your feet under you and figure out life. That's a hard that's a hard one to handle. So yep, still on the payroll to a point. So for that Tika rebarrel, what exactly do you want? Just rebarrel, be blast some metal? Yes. Yeah, because I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just my experience with the Tika, the stainless. Seems like it can develop some rust. Some rust there. Where like my Kimber, I don't have that issue. It uses aluminum oxide, so metal will be dull. That's fine. Not a problem. I'm watching this guy walk by. He's got a sport coat on, and he's got both buttons buttoned. That's like sport coat 101. You are not. Come on, man. If you're gonna button a button, it's got to be the top button. You never button the bottom button. That's like fancy dressing 101. Don't be that guy. You got soccer practice, and I'm at lacrosse practice, sitting in the truck. Nice. Yeah. Welcome to the chat. Running with scissors. Yeah. It's always something. We're always on the go. Would you want all the metal to be Cerakote black? That really protects the metal. Probably not black, because it'll be in the. If you go and look, it'll be in that laminate stock that Tika sells from the factory. It's like green, and I can't remember all the colors or whatever. You go on their website, you'll see it. It's a laminate stock. So I'm just trying in my mind. I don't think black would look super great with that stock, but I could be wrong. I need to go back and double check. Tungsten or yeah. Yep, that's what I was thinking. Maybe more of a gray color would be the way I went. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, well, on a sport coat or like a suit jacket or something, and typically, traditionally, for the most part, the vast majority of them you're going to see out there. Now there's some that have a little bit different style, the button layout and all that. Number of buttons are different, but for the most part, you go into a Joseph A. Bank, a Men's Warehouse, vast majority of those sport coats and suits and stuff, they're going to have 2 buttons. Okay, don't button the bottom button. Don't be that guy. If you're going to button one, you button the top button of the 2. All right, never button both. Don't do that. Black would look excellent in my opinion, and it definitely might. I just need to be able to have the gun in front of me and visualize that. So I'll try to remember to do that when I get home. What about Cerakoting it in the color called Savage Stainless? Looks great, just slightly darker than Tika Stainless. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm open to anything like that. I think would look really, really good. But yeah, that was my plan, was to get him to Cerakote everything and yeah, go that route. Or at least that's the thought process. Yeah, okay, yeah, now you see what I'm talking about. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Don't be that guy. Don't button both buttons. Don't button, don't only button the bottom button. Just button the top button. Sure, you cut the little stays, the little thread on the back. If the jacket, kind of has the flap and everything, make sure you cut all that away. Don't be the guy that you're going to a formal event and you go and you get a sport coat or a suit jacket, try to look nice, and then you walk out the threads down there, everything's still in place because you didn't cut them. Most of the times, most of the time the store will cut it for you. You just don't want to be that guy. I've seen that way too much. Like when I go to work, we have an all hands or some type of recognition ceremony or something like that. Never fails. Somebody just went and bought a brand new coat, brand new sport coat, or a brand new suit jacket or something, and they don't cut it away. So let's see. Cerakote the barreled action Savage Stainless and the Bolt Black. Gotcha. Reloading Quest. Just got my scope rings for the 35 Whelen Ruger M77 so I can mount the loophole now. Nice. So I'm actually pretty intrigued and interested in the 35 Whelen. And the reason for that is because that Savage 110 Trail Hunter, I could go and get a barrel, 35 Whelen barrel, and rebarrel it. So I'm thinking about doing that. Once I get through this whole how to prep your rifle for hunting season series and all that fun stuff, and I want to kill a deer with it this year, that'll be the gun. I'll take that one hunting every time until I kill one. So okay, Reloading Fun has a question for everyone. Have you or anyone here had the average velocity changed by 20 or 30 feet per second when doing seating depth tests with Barnes bullets? I would imagine your velocities should change if you're doing seating depth test. I mean, you're changing the internal volume of the case, so your pressures are changing whenever you're doing seating depth. So, Reloading Quest, it's an awesome cartridge, man. I actually just finished an article on it too for the CVA. Oh, okay, for the Scout break open. Nice. Charles O'Neill, is this the Alabama fashion show? You would love my fashion. Again, something that drives my wife nuts. Like today, the low was, I got to the range, low was, it was in the 30s. So by the time I made it there, it's probably in the low 40s. Got there about 8:30, and I had on a hoodie and shorts. So drives my wife nuts. Reloading Fun, accuracy first answered. He said yes. Reloading Quest, I see it most in neck tension. Accuracy first all depends on the cartridge and how much depth the changes are. Yeah, I agree with that. It depends on if you go and follow like I think in the Burger manual, or if you go and follow maybe the Barnes. I think the Barnes has a seating depth recommendation, like a seating depth test recommendation in their manual. I think they say like 35 thousandths or something like that of jump in between each group to try to find an overall length that works really well. Yeah, you're definitely going to notice velocity changes if you're changing your seating depth that much. If you're making that large of a change. Jeff, the 35 Wayland does well with hybrid 100V. Yeah, Jeff and his hybrid 100V. He's the reason I went and bought 2 pounds of it, by the way. I blame Jeff. Accuracy first. Adios. Off to my low bench. Plenty to do. Will likely be there for. All right. We'll see you. I appreciate you joining in. As always, man, I really, really appreciate all the info you bring to the table. So, super knowledgeable. Reloading fun. It was 5 thousandths. Changes of 5 thousandths. What was the data set? How many shots did you take at those increments? Okay, Reloading Quest said inconsistency of velocities. That's what he was referencing, neck tension, which does play a big part in your velocity if you have inconsistencies with your with your neck tension. So, what's going on, Shane? Well, now that Shane's here, I guess we can end it. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Nah, we've been chatting quite a bit about Ramshot Grand powder. So if you have any experience in that, Accuracy First just ordered an 8-pound jug of it. So he's looking forward to using it. Reloading Quest has had really good luck with it in a handful of cartridges that he's tried it in. So we were talking about, temp stable powders and stuff like that. So yeah, I haven't got my hands on it either. So yeah, overall it's been a really good stream. I spent 6 hours at the range today, so I actually took off work just to go to the range. I just had so much stuff. I had so much stuff loaded up, and I'm like, there's no way I can't get through all of this in a reasonable amount of time if I just go to the range for like an hour on my lunch break, So I ended up excuse me, and I got a ton of stuff done, so that was nice. Was able to get a lot of 7 rim mag shot, a lot of 30-06. Started the barrel break-in process on the 22 Creedmoor. Actually shot some 30 TC as well. Got some of that shot. Shot some 243 Winchester, some 350 Legend. So some 6.5 Creedmoor. Overall, it was just a big day. A lot of rounds. 3-shot group, still never seen that much before. I've done a lot of 3-shot groups in my day. Yeah, no, same here. I do a lot of that. That's what a lot of today's testing was, 3-shot groups, and it can tell you quite a bit. Again, for me, it tells me practically everything I need to know. So, but yeah, I mean, it would be interesting if you could go back and repeat the test with the exact same seating depths and go and see if you come up with the same velocity discrepancies, right? Or differences. Jeff, years ago, I had a private range 2 miles from my home. Oh, and your buddy sold the house. Yeah. Well, I'm pretty fortunate. The range I go to is like a 9-minute drive from my house, so doesn't take long. I can get everything loaded up in the vehicle, head down there, get a lot of testing done, head back home. I'm super close. So gonna go back, try to, well, yeah, if you have brass already prepped, or because that's the other thing too, that's the downside of, some of the testing that I do, where it's like, if I load up the whole batch of brass with a bunch of different things I want to go test, well, now I don't have any of that brass that was all prepped exactly the same way at the same time to go back and try to replicate any of those tests. Because if you know do it that way, then you come back and you want to retest something, well, now you're going back through the process of prepping the brass or whatever, and there is variation in that. So, but it would be nice to go back and just kind of double check that. That's what I'm doing with some of the stuff that I shot today. I'm going to go back. I actually do have some of the brass that hasn't been loaded with anything else. It was all prepped at the same time, and it was all primed at the same time. Everything's essentially the same. So I'm going to go back, load up some of what I tested today, and go and validate and just sort of see, see what the results are. So. It's getting to be about dinner time. Got to figure out what we're doing for dinner. Might be tacos tonight. I don't know. Definitely got to go get some of this 7 rim mag loaded up. I was really, really pumped about some of the initial results. You don't think there is enough variation in doing brass prep on different days to make a difference, do you? Well, I don't think it'll make enough of a difference that you can actually, that you'll probably actually be able to see it, right? There's variation in everything. I mean, you're not going to do it exactly the same way every single time. There's variation in every step of the process, right? And there's enough firing on the brass. So there's variation in everything. It's in the noise. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely in the noise. But I think you just have to come to terms with, no matter what you do, every step of every process will have to the level of eliminating the variability. I don't care what you do. So you have to pay attention. You have to, what do they say, keep the first things first, right? Focus on the key things when it comes to reloading, the stuff that's going to get you the 80-20 principle, or the 20-80, whatever it's called, where you focus on the 20% of stuff that's going to give you 80% of the results. So, and a lot of the other stuff's just in the noise. Yeah, you want to focus on consistency. That's the main thing, and that's been, I've said it multiple times in my videos. You can kind of almost paralysis from analysis, so to speak, when it comes to reloading and what method to follow, and what YouTuber to subscribe to, and like, well, they said to go do this, and this is the most important, so I need to go do that, and well, what this other channel said this, and at the end of the day, because I've had several people ask me, hey, I want to get into reloading, I don't know where to start. There's a lot of different stuff. At the end of the day, you got to get the crap, start reloading, figure out what process works for you and your setup and how you operate. And then from there, you begin to refine that process. So that's really what it boils down to. And trying to be as consistent as possible. But to what extent, though, looking at my F-class stuff, the variation in brass prep is staying pretty consistent. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you would. I don't think you'd be able to measure it. I don't know if it's quantifiable, to be honest with you. I don't know if you'd be able to instrument something well enough to quantify that. So that's why some of this stuff is just kind of down in the weeds, you know. And now, if you want to go down the path of like you want to go be a competitive shooter and you want to compete at the highest possible level, then or you want to win, period, then it would be in your best interest to go and get the most expensive powder measure, the best press you can find, the best set of dies, the best piece of annealing equipment, shooting the best brass you can shoot, you know, using the best bullets you can use. Go and buy the best of everything, right? Go and get, you know, whatever, Brooks barrels or Krieger barrels or whoever it is that makes the best barrel nowadays. Go get the most expensive and best action that you can get with the best trigger in it you can put. You know, pay an outrageous sum of money for the best scope that you can get. Because that's really at the end of the day what you're doing by going that route is you're reducing the variation in your entire system, right? You're mitigating risk at that point. You're just doing risk mitigation. I'm going to buy the best of everything that I could possibly buy to assemble the best possible setup to provide myself with the, you know, least amount of inherent variation that could exist in this process and in this setup. I'm going to try to mitigate that by having the best of everything. And then you still have to go out and pull the trigger. So the average shooter is not even going to be capable of seeing that noise. No, definitely not. And I fall into that category where there's just a lot of stuff that I don't really lose sleep over or get worked up about, because I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of worrying about it enough. Like my buddy, we were at the range the other day, last week I think it was, and he was testing out some groups in his Creedmoor, and 3-shot groups, which is perfectly fine. But he was looking at, hey, I'm going to go with the group that has a better SD. The group size is larger, but I'm going to go with the one that has better SD, and it's for hunting. And I'm like, why? Well, because it has a better SD, but who cares? What difference does it make? Like, you're not taking a shot on an animal over, you probably wouldn't even take one at 400 yards. So it's probably going to be 300 and in. You'll never even see the difference. Neither will the animal when you hit it. It ain't going to know the difference either. Was that SD 10 or 20? I don't know. So, Jeff, been working on some 300 Win Peterson long brass for a friend. Too early to tell on brass, still testing new, not once fired yet. That stuff's supposed to be really good. So, yeah, if I had a 300 Win Mag, that would be the brass that I would go with. Is that long from Peterson. So, but yeah, a lot of the stuff is down in the weeds. It's down in the noise. So, oh man, oh my god, oh, I didn't have any coffee with me this evening, so I was relying on the lemon blackberry Propel, which is not a bad flavor, by the way. For those of you that have never tried it. You did some testing on that, used a Remington 700 Bartline barrel, unprepped Winchester brass, and inconsistent neck tension size with RTBS full length sizer. Still held 4-inch vertical at 600. There you go. That was 4 inches for 20 shots. Yeah, so there's so much that, and that's part of the good and bad of YouTube. I feel like is you get the full spectrum of people that like have just started reloading, and which is great, and putting out content and information, which I'm practically still in that category because I hadn't been doing it that long. Started in 2015, so only 9 years. And then you have, you know, the full spectrum of people that's been doing it for a long time, putting out good information. And then you have like the people that really take it up a notch, like your F-class guys, and your ELR guys that are really trying to wring out every bit of performance. So it's a good you get a good brush stroke of information, but you have to be able to take a step back and kind of look through the lens of how does this apply to me? Because oftentimes when you know, when you're watching some of this stuff, somebody will say something or they'll be doing something, they'll show you something, and you're like, oh man, now I need to worry about that. I need to focus on that. Well, was that really a problem for you and your setup and your situation? Is that actually going to solve a problem that you currently have? So try to focus on that too. When you're hearing something or listening to something, go, how does this actually solve a problem that I see consistently time and time again? How would this actually help? So, but they're finishing up practice now. So we're done for the night. Like I said, my next live stream will probably be, who knows, 6 months from now. But don't forget, run over, check out Reloading Quest. He said he's going to go live pretty soon. So y'all head over, check out his live stream. And that's it. 2 days in a row. I know I'm just as surprised as y'all. But all right, y'all stay tuned. I'm going to try to drop a video Friday from the range results from today. So y'all stay tuned for that. But appreciate everybody joining in, all the feedback, the comments, all that fun stuff. Reloading fun. In the 12 years I've been shooting F-class, the barrel is the biggest factor, all else being equal. Oh yeah, exactly. Later, Shane. So we'll catch y'all next time. Y'all have a good rest of your evening and have a great week out here.